I was watching a documentary the other day about beavers. It was the best damn documentary I've ever seen. That wasn't just a bad joke, it was a dad joke. How can you tell a dad joke from a bad joke? Well, it's apparent. Dictionary.com defines a dad joke as a joke so corny or lame that only a tragically unhip dad will find it funny. Now, in caveman times, although they weren't defined as such, there were probably dad jokes, and they were probably just as prehistoric as cave art and frieze. Right about now is when one of my kids would tell me to stop embarrassing myself before it becomes contagious. My name is Michael Daniels, and I'm a dad. I've been telling dad jokes since my oldest child was born 24 years ago. I come from a long line of dads who have been telling dad jokes to their offspring, just like my father and his father. I even have a dad bod, but I consider it as more of a father figure. I believe dad jokes are beneficial to your mental and physical health. I will be talking about dad jokes today. Dad jokes relieve stress. Both sides of your brain have to work independently and together to understand a pun. And laughter is good for your health. Now, dad jokes relieve stress. Dad jokes don't have to be funny to be effective. Every day when I come home from work, first thing I do, I'll kiss my wife on the forehead. The next thing I do, I'll hug my youngest daughter. She's the only one we still have living at home. And then within a few minutes of conversation, I'll tell a dad joke. You can't just rush into these things. Well, regardless of whether she laughs or sighs or rolls her eyes, whatever her response is, puts a smile on my face. Now, the verywellmind.com states, if you are able to put a smile on your face, the laughter will come more easily and the stress will melt more readily. I decided to do my own test with a blood pressure cuff my brother bought for me for my 40th birthday. He got it for me as payback for the nose hair trimmers and adult undergarments I got him 2 years prior. And also with 10 of the worst puns I could find on the internet. Now I went to put on the blood pressure cuff and the batteries were dead. So I gave them away free of charge. Then I got some more batteries at an AA meeting. So now I've got this working blood pressure cuff on my wrist, and I read these 10 puns to my daughters to see if reading one of these 10 puns would make my blood pressure go up. No pun intended. Now that I have that out of my system, let's talk about what just happened inside of your skull. Hearing puns makes both hemispheres of your brain work together. The scientificamerican.com states the left hemisphere is the linguistic hemisphere. So it's the one that processes most of the language aspects of a pun, with the right hemisphere kicking in a bit later. Basically, the left side of your brain understands words for their actual meaning. The right side of the brain understands the applied meanings of words, different synonyms, antonyms. So when you hear the actual words, then your mind, then the other side hears the implied words or the implied meaning. Then both sides of the brain start to click like two dolphins having a conversation, and you react. I included that dolphin pun in there on purpose. Now, if you actually laughed at a joke, that brings us to our third part, where laughing is actually good for you. Laughing is good for your health. So laughter stimulates your organs. Mayo Clinic states laughter enhances your intake of oxygen-rich air, stimulates your heart, lungs, and muscles, and increases endorphins that are released by your brain. So when you laugh, you take in a deep breath, you have to laugh, you breathe more. And I'm at the doctor and they're listening to me breathe, and they'll say, breathe deeper. I go, how's this? And while you're breathing deeper, your oxygen gets to more parts of your body because you're breathing in deeper, breathing in oxygen, your blood gets more oxygen, it goes all over. And also, you're getting an ab workout. Whenever you laugh, your stomach muscles tighten, and it's not quite as good of an ab workout as getting the dry heaves, but it is much, much more enjoyable than the dry heaves. And also, the same article in Mayo Clinic states, laughter reduces the level of stress hormones and increases the level of health-enhancing hormones. So not only is your body getting more enriched by oxygen, you're getting an ab workout, and your hormones are getting balanced out too. So this is great. Now, let's review what we've learned so far. So far, I've told you some facts about dad jokes and how they affect your health. And I've told you a whole bunch of really bad dad jokes and one that made you laugh. So in telling all the dad jokes, I reduced my stress level and my anxiety of speaking to you today. And by hearing these dad jokes, both sides of your brain had to function and function together before you responded. And lastly, the one joke that made you laugh made you healthier. So for that, you're welcome. And enjoy dad jokes. Even if you're not a dad, you can tell dad jokes. Just make sure he finds them funny. And if you're fortunate enough to still have your dad, give him a hug and tell him you love him. See, as long as there's dads, there will be dad jokes. Whether they make you laugh or sigh, they're still beneficial to your health.